The business, motherfucker.
The Daily Read. Your source for news, politics, sports, and all things trending. Here's your host, Marcus Gentry.
I'm going to go ahead and address each one of these verdict forms separately. The first verdict form I have is the state of Georgia versus Travis McMichael. Verdict is as follows. In the Superior Court of Glenn County, state of Georgia, the state of Georgia versus Travis McMichael, case number CR 000433. Jury verdict form. Count 1, malice murder. We, the jury, find the defendant, Travis McMichael, guilty. Mr. Gregory McMichael. In the Superior Court of Glenn County, the state of Georgia versus Greg McMichael, case number CR 20000433. Jury verdict form. Count 1, malice murder. We, the jury, find the defendant, Greg McMichael, not guilty. Count 2, felony murder. We, the jury, find the defendant, Greg McMichael, guilty. As to William R. Bryan. In the Superior Court of Glenn County, state of Georgia versus William R. Bryan, case number CR 20000433. Jury verdict form. Count 1, malice murder. We, the jury, find the defendant, William R. Bryan, not guilty. Count 2, felony murder. We, the jury, find the defendant, William R. Bryan, not guilty. Count 3, felony murder. We, the jury, find the defendant, William R. Bryan, guilty.
There you have it, people. We have justice for Ahmaud, finally. My name is Marcus Gentry, and I'm the host of A Daily Read with Marcus Gentry. And today we're going to talk briefly on what justice looks like sometimes. It might not be as fast as we would like it, and we've already went over the Kyle Rittenhouse case and how I agreed with the jury that he should have been found innocent for self-defense purposes. But this is a whole different ball game. The reason why this is a whole different ball game, people, is because, in the case of Kyle Rittenhouse, he was a young man who shouldn't have been out there with the gun, but he wasn't charged, or they dropped the charges of him having that gun illegally. But the mob did chase him, and they had guns out there, and he defended himself. This case, like I said, is different. These men went after an unarmed black man just because he was jogging. Then they tried to put up a self-defense case and a citizen's arrest case. But in order to have a citizen's arrest, you got to know of a crime that has been committed by somebody. You just can't hold and detain somebody and say, go investigate, he must have done something. The whole thing looked foolish on their part. Even when the young man, the younger McMichael, got up there and testified, he even said Ahmaud-Arbery never spoke, he never threatened him. And the woman asked him, did he keep running away from you? He said yes. These men were so full of themselves and their white privilege that they felt like Ahmaud-Arbery supposedly had stopped and spoke to them. Get it through your head, people. For those of you who feel this way, no one has to speak to you. I can get on a train, a bus, stop at a gas station. If you walk up to me and start asking me questions, I don't have to tell you nothing. Even the police will tell you. You don't have to tell the police nothing. You have a right to your silence. That's your right. You don't have to answer to nothing. Somebody accuses you, that's what the court of law is supposed to be for. These men are going to go to prison, and more than likely when they get to prison, they're going to join some type of Aryan Brotherhood, the ABs, the brand, they call it the brand. They're going to join some kind of white nationalist or white supremacy gang. Because so few white people go to prison that they do that because of numbers, the number purposes. to protect each other. Even law enforcement, when they go to jail and they're white, they join these white supremacist gangs. I'm going to talk about that later on. How the white supremacists inside the prison, they get guys like this when they come in there. So all the racist stuff they was doing on the streets, they had to keep it under cover of darkness. But now that it's out in the open and they go into prison, it's going to come out. I give it 2 years. You're going to hear reports from inside the Georgia prison, Bureau of Prisons, that the McMichaels done joined some kind of gang, white gang, and not because they joined the gang on the streets, but because they're inside a prison now. They've been convicted now. They don't have to hide their hatred for minorities anymore. You know, now the older McMichael, he might join, but he's not gonna get the tattoos. I can't see him, getting branded. But the younger McMichael, you liable to see pictures of him 2 or 3 years from now with tattoos on his bald head. He might shave all his hair off and just grow his beard out with tattoos all on his body, all kinds of stuff. Because he fits that description. He fits that type that's gonna go in there and link up with the Aryan Brotherhood or the Dirty White Boys. They got another racist group in there called the Dirty White Boys. And then they still got the Klan. The Ku Klux Klan is still inside the prisons. All of these white factions, they have a lot of different white gangs in prison, but it's so few of them that they all stick together. Now, William Roddy Bryant, he's a different animal altogether. I don't really see him linking up with the Aryan Brotherhood like that. He just doesn't seem that tight. Now the McMichaels do. They're going to go to him and ask him, do he want to join for protection purposes? But he might be the type that turns them down. But what they're going to tell him is, if you don't join us, if blacks jump on you, we're not going to be there to help you fight. If something happens, we're not going to be there to help you. See, that's how they roll. Either you join, if you don't, it's on you. Whatever happens to you, happens to you. They're not going to care. So Roddy, I don't really see him joining. He might get pressured into joining for protection purposes, but I just don't see him joining. But the McMichaels, I got a feeling they're going to join. Let's look at some more pictures of these, the clown show, as they're getting walked out the courtroom.
Them day in and day out being walked into the courthouse during the duration of this trial. First, right now, you see Travis McMichael right now being walked out of the courthouse. And this is video from just about 22 a police officer's cruiser, and he will be... All right, and now I believe you're taking a close look at Gregory McMichael, who today was found guilty on felony murder, right into a police cruiser. And next we're going to show you William Roddy Bryan. Now, William Roddy Bryan, he is the person who actually recorded the cell phone video of the shooting death of Ahmaud-Arbery. His charge...
See, those men are about to start a life sentence. They're about to start a life sentence, and they'll never see the light of day again. So now they can open up their hatred for real. When you look at that video, and I saw the unedited cut, and it's horrible, people. The way he ran off after he got shot and just collapsed in the street. It was devastating, man, to watch that. And I've seen some horrible stuff. But that right there, that was horrible. And then how the police, when they arrived on the scene, nobody ran to help him. You can hear him in his last death rattle, breathing laying on that hot concrete street, hot asphalt. He was laying on there, hot asphalt street. Nobody even bothered to go over there and check on him. And then the police had enough nerve to tell the Michaels to put up their guns, secure your weapons. Instead of telling them to put the guns on the ground, You know, it was just so many things that showed the racial bias with this police department. It was sad. But I'm gonna dive further into uh, what these guys are finna go into when they hit the prison system. First of all, when they get there, they're not going to no camp. They're not going to no uh, small prison with barely any supervision. No, they're going behind the wall. And if you don't know what the wall is one of those prisons that sit off in the woods somewhere where nobody even knows where it is. The only people that know where you are is family members that go visit you. And when you get there, more than likely it's a wall that you cannot see out and people can't see in. Now, some prisons don't have a wall like that. Some prisons have like triple barbed wire fences around it. But Georgia's an old state with old prisons. So more than likely they're going to go behind the wall. And when they get behind the wall and they get their bedroll, as soon as they walk into their cell, the white guys, there's very few of them in there, because like I say, they lock up more black people than anybody. But the few white gang members in there is going to approach them and tell them, hey, you here now. You know, life on the streets is over with. You know, we the protectors in here to protect you from blacks and Hispanics that want to beat you up and rob you. And they're going to join. I got a funny now. I'm gonna make this clear. Not all white people that go to prison hold racism in their hearts. You got some white guys that'll go to prison and don't join these white supremacist gangs. They hang with anybody they want to hang with. Blacks, Hispanics, Chinese, whatever's in prison, they hang with you. But you got a lot of whites in prison that already had that mentality anyway. And now that they've been convicted of a crime, they just open up. Like, forget it. I'm full-fledged racist now. And they join. There's an ex-convict who did an interview talking about this stuff. I'm going to show you some clips of this guy. And everything he's saying basically is correct.
Good afternoon. My name is BJ Pack. I am the United States Attorney for the Northern District of Georgia. I'm joined today by Deputy Assistant Attorney General David Rebicki, the Acting Chief David Jaffe of the DOJ Criminal Division Organized Crime and Gang Section, and Assistant U.S. Attorney Catherine Hoffer, who is also the Deputy Chief of our Violent Crime and National Security Section, Trial Attorney John Hanley of the Department of Justice Criminal Division, the ATF Special Agent in Charge Art Peralta, Cobb County District Attorney Vic Reynolds, Cobb County Police Chief Michael Register, and Commissioner Greg Dozier from the Department of Corrections of Georgia. To continue our fight against violent gangs, our law enforcement partners at the federal, state, and local level are here today to announce a major enforcement action against another dangerous gang, the Ghostface Gangsters. Today, we unsealed a 21-count indictment through which 23 members and associates of the Ghostface Gangsters are charged. Members of this gang are charged specifically and allegedly committing numerous crimes that range from drug trafficking, both inside of our prison system and outside of the prison system, violent assaults against innocent citizens, and even against their own members, and of course, the murder of law enforcement officers. Also today, we're here to announce that we conducted arrests to bring the indicted individuals into federal custody. Ghostface Gang originated in Cobb County Jail in the 2000s and has since spread through Georgia's jails, prisons, and elsewhere. Matter of fact, there are over 2,000 confirmed gang members that are currently incarcerated in the Georgia prison system. Law enforcement estimates that there are approximately 5,000 members of this gang operating throughout the Georgia prison systems and outside, and in parts of Tennessee and Alabama.
And what he's saying is partially correct. When he's saying you have no choice, he's not totally correct. You have a choice. You know, TV and a lot of people make prison out to be where you're going to go in there and get raped and stuff like that. Understand this, rape does happen, sex between men happen and stuff like that. Most of the time, most of the men that are sexually assaulted in prisons are already gay. They come off the streets gay. And when they get in there, they have to find them a boyfriend to protect them. So some of that stuff is fiction that people out here on the streets believe about prison, especially the part about rape. But the part about what he was talking about being forced into a gang, no gang in there that I know of forces you to join. But what winds up happening is a lot of these young white kids, or in the case of this man, these two men, the McMichaels, the father and the son, they already have racial animus towards minorities anyway. You could tell by how they shot Ahmaud-arbery. But what happens is, now that they've been convicted, they feel like the system that's supposed to protect white people has failed them. So it makes it easier for men like them to join these racist gangs. Now, like I said, William Roddy Bryant, he can go either way. He might not join, but he might be, closely affiliated with him. Who knows in his case. But the case of the McMichaels, I can look at them and tell, I give it 2 years, 2 years max, and you're going to see reports coming out when people want to know where they're at, how they're doing in prison. You're going to see reports coming out about the McMichaels joining some kind of right wing racist white supremacist gang. The younger McMichael done shaved his head bald and now he's a skinhead now. That's what's finna happen. I'm almost 100% positive that that's what you finna see happen. But all of this is a sad case. I got something bright I want to talk about later on. I haven't done anything trending. The Wheel of Time. I'm an avid book reader. I write books. And I have over 8 books that I've written over the years. I haven't gotten them published yet. They're sitting here in my desk. I do science fiction. And I'm going to tell you people, when we get back off this commercial break, there's a book that they've made into a television series, just like the Game of Thrones, which is another set of books I've read. It's amazing. You're gonna love this TV series. I feel like you're gonna love it if you're an avid book reader of fiction books, science fiction books and stuff like that. You're gonna love it. Now you got some people out there, they're already giving bad reviews about the TV series. Sometimes things don't translate over from the books to the TV. We just gotta have that understanding. Sometimes it doesn't translate, people. It's okay. But when we get back off this commercial break, we're going to talk about the Wheel of Time. And I'm going to give you a warning right now. There will be spoilers for the books. I can't give you spoilers for the TV series because we all know that they changed things in the TV series, okay? So spoiler alert. I'm going to give you spoilers for the books because a lot of people don't even read books anymore. I still love books. It's just something mysterious about going to a bookstore, even if it's lit up bright or if it's dark and dingy or if it's an old library or it's a new library. It's just something about being around all of those books. Like, it's almost like there's hidden knowledge in there. Even if you're reading fiction books, it's almost like there's something hidden inside of all of these tombs that you want to grab onto. So we're going to get into this first commercial break, And when we get back, we're going to go and talk about the Wheel of Time. I'm going to do something trending. I'm going to brighten the mood. We've gotten justice for Ahmaud-Arbery, so we're going to brighten the mood a little bit, people.
The business, motherfucker.
The Daily Read.
I'm ready.
Camera's ready.
I'm ready. Welcome to Are You Scared Talent Shows. It's a new talent show that we put on TV for y'all to get used to because these people can't act. And so we're going to show y'all what the real deal is when you get on front of the camera and what some garbage acting look like. I tell you, garbage acting. This is Are You Scared Talent Shows, okay? We're going to show y'all some acts of some talents. $5,000. It really ain't $5,000. I just said $5,000 because $5,000 sound like some people want to come and join a talent show if it was paying $5,000. So I'm your host, Eric Jones. Are You Scared Talent Shows?
The business, motherfucker.
The Daily Read.
And welcome back to the Daily Read. I am your host, Marcus Gentry. Like I said at the beginning of the show, the first part of the show, we're going to lighten the mood a little bit. You know, we've been talking about doom and gloom, politics, and I haven't touched on trending topics and things like that. I'm gonna give you guys a story. I first fell in love with reading back when I was 15. And when you're in the hood and you were involved in gangs, a lot of these people are uneducated. They're not saying they're not smart enough to be educated or intelligent. They're not intelligent, but a lot of these people are uneducated. They can't, some of them can't read and write properly. I've learned a lot of slang over the years, even though I don't have to use a lot of slang. It's an easy way for me to communicate with people in the hood or around me that aren't as educated, you know, in as far as knowledgeable things. So the story I want to tell is how I first started becoming an avid book reader. I was on the block. I was in North Carolina. I was about 15, 16 years old. And I was in school then, but I just didn't pick up no random science fiction books and read them and stuff like that. And an old white man lived in our neighborhood. We was off Fort Bragg. We was living in Fayetteville, North Carolina. And an old white man used to walk every day with a stick to keep dogs off of him. We call him Mr. Hat. His name was, I think, Larry Hatfield or something like that. And he was walking. He was speed walking. He does it every morning. And this particular Saturday, I'm standing out there with my guys. You know, we all ganged up on the corner, hanging out. It was around 12 noon. And he comes walking by, speed walking. And there was one white kid that hung with us. It was about 7 blacks out there and 1 Korean kid that hung with us. So we was a mixed group, but we was all in a gang. We was gang members. And as he's walking down the street with his stick, somebody decided to pick at him, start calling him out his name, talking about him. And like I said, I've always had a higher sense of intelligence about myself and how to move out here. And that's what made me a leader of the gang members that I used to hang with. So as they approached the man, because he wasn't finna back down from them, you know, but he wasn't just finna keep walking neither and have somebody hit him in the back. So as they approached him trying to hurt him, I put a stop to it. I said, man, hey, leave that man alone. And I was literally finna fight one of my partners to keep him from hurting this old man. This true story. After I calmed the whole situation down, I told Mr. Hatfield, I said, man, go on about your business, man. You know, and he kept walking. He kept looking back, but he kept walking. I told my partner, I said, man, we need to leave the block, man, because more than likely he's gonna call the police when he get to where he going. So we all dispersed and left. When we got back together, me and my partner, we made up. We was arguing for a couple of days, but we made up, and everything. And I told him, I said, man, ain't no sense in jumping on that old man. He wasn't doing nothing to nobody. So Mr. Hatfield saw me at a gas station one day. And he approached me and gave me a hardback book. He said, young man, I want you to read this book. And it was on the front of it, it said Brothers of the Rosicross. It was a book of Rosicrucians. And I took the book, took it home, set it on my nightstand next to my bed. I didn't pick it up at first. Me and my mother got into it over something. I think I snuck out the window and hung out with my girlfriend that night. She caught me. And when I got back home, she put me on punishment. I picked up that book and opened it and started reading about the Rosicrucians. And to this day, I don't know if it was a fiction book or, a factual-based book, but it fascinated me. The signs and symbols it had in it. I can't explain to you everything that was in it, but it truly amazed me. I didn't realize how to read can open your mind about things. So I picked up Stephen King's It. I love Stephen King. It was a thick book. I found it in the school library and I read it. It was amazing. When I saw the TV series that came out, I was mad because the TV series didn't portray everything that was in the book. The second set of books I read was R.A. Salvatore, the Drizzt Saga, the Dark Elf trilogy. Now, this particular book I love because it talked about the Dark Elves, and it made me feel like he was talking about me being a black person in America. How everybody loves the light elves, the white elves, but everybody hates the dark elves, but they're all elves. How the dark elves hide underground and do things to get by, whether they're illegal, smugglers, things like that. And the white elves, they're always put in a light of doing good, but sometimes they be doing evil too, but people don't see it because they're light elves. So when I read the Dark Elf trilogy, that really set my taste buds for reading science fiction books. Then I started experimenting with writing, and I read another set of books. I read the Game of Thrones series, which that's the reason why I love the TV series. I loved it. And if you haven't seen the Game of Thrones TV series, watch it, people. Because the Game of Thrones TV series, it doesn't compare to the books. I'm gonna give you an example. Spoiler alert. I told you I was gonna give you some spoilers. Spoiler alert. In the books, the mother who got her neck cut at the Red Wedding, she comes back in the books as a zombie. She's alive and her neck is still cut, and she has a scarf around her neck, a red scarf to hide her wound on her neck, and she can barely talk. She talks in like a whisper. She comes back to life. See, they didn't have that in the TV series. Her daughter, the one that turned into an assassin, Ariana Stark. Ariana Stark is the one in the TV series that got revenge against the people that killed her mother and her brother and her sister-in-law. But in the books, the mother is vicious. She comes back as a zombie, but she's not the brain-eating type of zombie. She's the type of zombie who's intelligent and who's out to manipulate people and kill whoever she got to kill. So the books sometimes give you a more in-depth view of what you're watching on the TV screen. There's another set of books, and these books are about this thick. I don't know, well, you people that's hearing my voice on iHeartRadio, you can't see what I'm demonstrating. But the Robert Jordan Wheel of Time series, each book is about 4 inches thick. And if you measure 4 inches, that's a thick book. And believe me, people, it's you read these books, it's gonna be better than the Wheel of Time series. I mean, it's gonna be better than Game of Thrones. I'm gonna go into this first clip because I want you guys to see just a sample of what they're coming with. I'm gonna give you the prelude to the TV series.
I am Moraine Sedai. 20 years ago, I learned a secret. A vision of a baby.
Now, people, listen, people. The Wheel of Time series, to me, and I'm biased about this because I've actually read the books. I read the Game of Thrones, and I read the Wheel of Time. Now, to me, like I said, each of these books are about this thick. The Game of Thrones books are about this thick, and the Wheel of Time books are about this thick. The thing about these books is, the Wheel of Time, now I don't know who the directors are. I don't know how much budget they put in these books, turning them into a TV series. So, how can I put this? Hollywood has a way of making some books into TV series and make it good, and then other books, when they turn it into a TV series, it's not as good as the other TV series. Okay, so the directors of the Game of Thrones did the Game of Thrones right. They just changed a few things I didn't like, but it was good. Now, the Wheel of Time series, this is an excellent, when I tell you, don't look at the TV series, people. Don't look at the TV series and say in your mind, man, I'm not going to read the books, it's garbage. Because you never know, they could have a bad director. They might not put the funds into the TV series like they did the Game of Thrones. You never know how it's going to turn out, because sometimes you could take a garbage book and have a good director and turn it into an excellent TV show. You could take a good book and turn into a TV show with a garbage director, and it might not look like it's nothing. So don't look at it like that. When I tell you the Wheel of Time is so excellent, sometimes I would stay up in the dark hours of the night knowing I had to go to school, and I was reading because I wanted to find out what was finna happen. Let me give you a brief spoiler. Let me give you a brief spoiler in the books, because like I say, they might change the TV series, because right now they have it set up to where you don't know who's the Dragon Reborn. Okay? You don't know who it's going to be. Now, in the books, look in the corner right here, people. In the corner, you're going to see me show a picture of 3 young men. Let me show you a picture of 3 young men. One of these young men is the Dragon Reborn. And I'm finna tell you who it's going to be in the books. Like I say, the TV series might be different. Okay? These 3 young men right here. Okay? Now, like I say, spoiler alert, this is for the books. They might change. How they got the TV series set up right now, you don't know which one of these 3 is the Dragon Reborn. Okay, cool. But in the books, the guy with the red hair off to the left, if you're looking at the screen, the one off to the left, he's the Dragon Reborn. All 3 of these guys play a very important role in the books. They're all friends that grew up in the same village. Spoiler alert, I'm going to give you a spoiler alert. You got to watch the TV series. Actually, I prefer you to read the books. See, in the books, all men are forbidden to do magic because the men who used to do magic cracked the earth. So all the women got together who were magic users and stopped all the men from using magic. Years, hundreds of years done passed by. Anytime a male is born with the ability to use magic, the women hunt them down and sometimes kill them. So now the Dragon Reborn is going to change all of that. He's going to bring it back to where men can use magic again, just like women can use magic. Because there's going to be a threat that's going to come that the women cannot handle by themselves. They need the men to help them fight this threat. Now, each one of these three guys right here in this picture you're seeing, each one of these three guys have a role to play in this, because each one of these three, they're going to split up because they're going to get separated. The guy to the right of the Dragon Reborn, if you're looking at the screen, his name is Perrin, the kind of black guy. He looks like he's mixed. He is going to get with this group of werewolves, and he's going to get a magical axe that can cut through anything. The guy that's sitting on the side by himself, his name is Matt. Now, Matt is my favorite character because Matt is a gambler and he loves shooting dice, but he never can win. Later on in the books, he's going to go off on an adventure by himself, and he's going to get this magical staff that has a blade on the end, and he's going to get these magical dice. And the dice are going to be in his head. Anytime, it's going to be like spider senses. Anytime danger is around, the dice start rolling in his head, and he avoids the danger. So he's going to be very important in this book. And then, of course, you got the main star of the book, which is the guy with the red hair. He's going to be the Dragon Reborn. He has magic. He's going to bring the magic back to men and have them help the women defeat these evil creatures that are going to show up and start attacking everybody. So when I tell you people, the books is awesome. You know, and like I say, I love this type of stuff. And most people, when they see me and they hear me talking slang, or they hear me in the hood, you know, I'm kicking with my homies and stuff like that, I don't talk about this stuff. The reason I don't talk about this stuff, not because I don't want others to read, or not because I care that they know that I'm smart or something, but nah, it ain't that. I don't speak about it because I know they're not interested in it. If you're not interested in reading books, I'm not going to beat your head about a book that I read. I have a gaming channel. I play video games. And my gaming channel is about to take off. I got a lot of people that I play the Division Part 2. I got people that I play with on the Division. We do videos together. You know what I'm saying? But when I'm out hanging with my friends locally, I don't speak on playing video games, because half of these guys are just ripping and running the streets. You know, they don't sit down and play video games and read books and things like that. If that's not what you're interested in, I'm not going to beat your head up over it. But I will tell you, especially my nephews and a couple of other young men that I've gotten attached to over the years. Okay? There's a young man named Mario, and bright young man. I'm telling you, reading is so amazing. You know, he kind of hates to read, you know, and I asked him, I spoke to him not too long ago. I said, man, you know, what are you into? He said, I don't know. I said, you know, it's time for you to start finding out, you know, what you like in life, you know, because when you hang out with people who think it's not cool to read, or when you hang out with people who feel like it's not cool to do things that you like, you will find yourself dumbing yourself down just to hang with these people. And I'm here to tell each and every one of you listening to my voice, don't dumb yourself down for a woman or a man. Don't dumb yourself down for people you want to hang out with because you think they're the cool bunch and they're not going to like some of the things you're into. Don't stop what you're doing that makes you happy. Don't do it. I read all the time. The people I hang with, probably half of them don't even know I read. Half of them don't even know I've written books. Because I'm not going to beat your head about some of the things that I enjoy doing, especially if I know that you're not into it. And then I have friends who are into things that I'm into. And when I'm around them, we talk all the time about certain books that have come out, certain science fiction stuff, certain video games that's finna drop. You know, they got the Division 3 coming out. You know, Heartland, it's called Heartland. I can't wait till it drop. I'm gonna do a whole unboxing on my video game channel. I got a video game YouTube channel, Old Man Gamer X. So you know, this is just a valuable lesson to a lot of young men and young women out there, man. Find your thing that you like and don't let nobody distract you from it. If they're bored or if they don't have something that they like to do that can occupy their time, that's on them. That's not on you. You found something that you like to do. You know, you have people out here who will straight up dislike the fact that you're not as bored as them. It's people out here like that. They just can't stand the fact that you're doing something besides just sitting around looking at four walls or hanging out on the block. Do what you enjoy doing and tell them, encourage them, hey, find you something to do. I had a girlfriend about 2 years ago. She didn't want to do nothing but watch Real Housewives and the Dollhouse. The girls that do the dancing dolls out of Mississippi. She used to love that show. That's all she did. And when she saw me reading or playing my video games or doing something I enjoy, she would literally get mad. And I'm like, why are you mad? Find you something you enjoy, a hobby, and do it. I just don't think you should play video games. I just don't think you should be reading that stuff. Why don't you do... You can't tell me what I enjoy doing because you don't enjoy doing. Find your thing in life. And this goes for anybody listening to my voice. If you listen to my voice on iHeartRadio or you're watching my YouTube channel, find something you like to do and do it. And hopefully it'll rub off on the person that you're hanging with to encourage them to enjoy their life. Find you something to do that you enjoy and enjoy it. No matter what nobody says or thinks about it, you enjoy yours. That's what you work hard for. This is the Daily Read, and I hope you guys learned something from the day, man. And we'll be back next week with new topics. We're going to try to do some sports too. This is the Daily Read, and I'm out.
The business, motherfucker.
The Daily Read.
Biz.